The Patmos Code, why the end of the world began in exile. The hook, the prisoner's portal. Most people think the end of the world was dreamed up in a temple or a palace. They're wrong. The most terrifying and controversial book in history wasn't written by a king. It was written by a convict. 80-year-old John, the last surviving apostle, was sent to a barren, volcanic rock called Patmos to die. But instead of silence, he found a frequency. Instead of a prison, he found a portal. Why did the most explosive visions of the future happen on this tiny, forgotten island? Today, we're deconstructing the Patmos conspiracy. We're going beyond the Sunday school stories to look at the forbidden geography, the Roman execution that failed, and the real reason why John was the only human trusted with the timeline of mankind. The survivor, the man who wouldn't die. To understand why John was on Patmos, you have to understand he wasn't supposed to be alive. Historical tradition tells us that Emperor Domitian tried to execute John in Rome by plunging him into a vat of boiling oil. The result? He walked out unharmed. In the eyes of Rome, John was a glitch in the system. They couldn't kill him without making him a martyr, so they did the next best thing, deportation. They dumped him on Patmos, a jagged, desolate quarry for the empire's political undesirables. But here's the kicker. The Romans thought they were silencing a rebel. In reality, they were providing the perfect sensory deprivation tank for the greatest revelation in human history. 3. The geography. Why Patmos? Why Patmos? Why not Jerusalem or Ephesus? Archaeologists show us that Patmos was a center for the cult of Artemis, a place of deep spiritual warfare. But more importantly, it was isolated. In the Bible, the wilderness is where God speaks. Moses had the desert, Elijah had the cave, John had the island. Without the noise of the city, the politics of the church, or the threats of the empire, John's consciousness was unlocked. The Greek word for the book is apocalypsis. It doesn't mean destruction, it means unveiling. On this island, the veil between the physical world and the digital-like code of the spiritual realm became paper-thin. The vision, a future beyond time. What John saw wasn't just religion. He was describing things for which he had no vocabulary. He saw stars falling from the sky. Think satellite debris or meteors. He saw locusts with the sound of many chariots. Think attack helicopters. Why John? Because he was the only one left who had seen the beginning. He was the beloved disciple who leaned on Jesus at the Last Supper. To see the end of the story, you needed the man who was there for the prologue. He wasn't just seeing the future of humanity. He was seeing the restoration of the garden. He was watching the simulation of human suffering finally being shut down and rebooted. The aftermath, the message to the seven. John wasn't writing a diary. He was writing a tactical manual. He smuggled this letter off the island and sent it to 7 specific cities. This wasn't just a prediction. It was a warning to the underground resistance. He was telling them, the empire looks invincible, but I've seen the final score. They lose. Patmos proves that you can imprison a man, but you cannot imprison a vision. The conclusion, your Patmos moment. We often view our Patmos moments, our times of isolation, loneliness, or being canceled, as the end. But for John, the isolation was the prerequisite for the revelation. If you're feeling cut off from the world right now, maybe it's because you're being prepared to see something everyone else is too busy to notice. Now, I want to hear from you one. Do you think John was seeing literal monsters? Or was he trying to describe futuristic technology? 2. If you were exiled to an island today, what is the one truth you'd want to tell the world? Let's debate in the comments. Hit that like button if you want more deep dives into forbidden history. Subscribe and hit the bell. Next week, we're investigating the Copper Scroll and the lost treasures of the temple. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open.